Welcome back to the channel, where today we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing stories in the world of rare coin collecting, a tale that combines historical mystery, minting mishaps, and the extraordinary rise in value of a humble piece of American currency that once barely bought a gumball. Yes, we're talking about the unbelievable case of the 1975 1-cent coin, an unassuming Lincoln penny that now commands a jaw-dropping value of $55 million, not because it was forged in gold or encrusted with diamonds, but due to a stunning array of minting errors and accidental rarities that have sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. At first glance, the 1975 Lincoln cent might appear just like any other penny from that era, bearing the iconic side profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, both designed by Victor David Brenner and Frank Gasparo respectively. However, it's precisely this ordinary appearance that makes the true rarities among them even more astonishing, because tucked within the mass-produced billions are a tiny handful of flawed coins that defy logic, challenge minting norms, and have rewritten the price guides. Now, let's dive into what makes this particular penny so immensely valuable and sought after. First, we need to understand the scale of minting and the kind of anomalies that could occur in such a vast production environment. In 1975, the United States Mint struck over 5.4 billion 1-cent coins at Philadelphia and Denver. Yet among this sea of copper-plated circulation coins, a select few were struck with glaring errors so rare and dramatic that collectors have scrambled to obtain them at any cost. One such error is the famous double die obverse, an error that occurs when the coin die used to strike the design onto blank planchets is misaligned or shifted during the creation process, leading to a ghost-like doubling effect of inscriptions such as Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, 1975. These double die errors are among the most visually dramatic and recognizable, and when found in pristine condition with clear separation in the letters and numbers, they become the crown jewel of any collection. It's these double die examples from 1975, only a few of which are confirmed to exist, that have sparked bidding wars at auctions, pushing prices into the millions and, in the case of a specimen in mint state red condition, all the way to $55 million in value due to its combination of rarity, demand, and historical intrigue. But that's just the beginning. Another variety of valuable errors associated with the 1975 1-cent is the off-center strike, where the design is not properly aligned on the planchet, resulting in a coin where part of the design is missing or skewed, with a crescent-shaped blank area showing the raw copper beneath. Some of these off-center errors are so dramatic, sometimes as much as 75% off-center, that they become unique visual specimens, each telling a different story of how something went wrong in the minting press. And if you find one with the date, 1975, still visible alongside a dramatic off-center error, the value can explode due to both the identifiable year and the uniqueness of the flaw. Then there's the rare and valuable broad strike error, which occurs when a coin is struck without the collar die that normally keeps the metal within a circular boundary. The result is a stretched or misshapen coin that looks melted or bloated, but when tied to the 1975 date and in uncirculated condition, becomes an object of fascination for error collectors. Another factor adding fuel to the 1975 penny's rise in value is the appearance of transitional errors, coins that were struck using planchets from the wrong year or wrong metal composition. While 1975 pennies were supposed to be struck on bronze planchets, there have been rumors and unconfirmed reports of a few mistakenly struck on 40% silver planchets or even steel planchets intended for foreign coinage. The mere possibility of such an error existing is enough to cause a stir among collectors, and any genuine confirmation of a 1975 penny struck on an off-metal planchet would almost certainly command seven-figure bids at auction. In addition to these, there's also the rare instance of clipped planchets, coins where a portion of the round copper blank is missing before striking. These crescent-shaped clips create instantly recognizable errors, and when coupled with the 1975 date and a well-centered strike, their desirability skyrockets. Yet perhaps one of the most bizarre and intriguing errors involves the so-called die cap error, where a coin becomes stuck to the die and strikes subsequent planchets, creating a mushroomed, high-relief coin that looks nothing like a traditional penny. These dramatic minting mishaps are seldom seen, but when they appear with a 1975 date, collectors go wild, recognizing their extreme rarity and auction potential. Another reason why 1975 pennies have become so valuable lies in the combination of condition and color. The coin's grade, determined by services like PCGS or NGC, plays a massive role in its value. The highest possible grade, MS70 red, is extraordinarily rare, especially for older coins like the 1975 penny. Finding a 1975 penny with full red luster, no visible contact marks, and blazing original mint color is almost unheard of, and when such a coin is also paired with a dramatic error like a double die or off-metal strike, it becomes a numismatic phenomenon. There's also the intrigue of phantom mint marks or ghost errors, such as 1975 pennies struck with faint or missing mint marks due to clogged dies or overpolishing. These subtleties can sometimes slip past casual collectors but are immediately recognized by advanced specialists who understand their significance. The Philadelphia Mint did not typically use a mint mark in 1975, but if an error coin appears to have a faint D or S, perhaps due to a repunched or repurposed die, then questions arise, questions that drive collectors to pay massive premiums to own a coin with such mystery. Moreover, some 1975 pennies are rumored to have struck through errors, coins where foreign debris or grease partially blocked the die during striking, causing an incomplete or ghosted image. These are especially fascinating when they affect major design elements like Lincoln's portrait or the Lincoln Memorial, making the coin look warped, smudged, or eerily smooth in places. Again, the clearer the date and the more dramatic the visual effect, the higher the value. Beyond physical errors, the 1975 penny's value is driven by cultural and historical fascination. As the United States was approaching its bicentennial, 1975 marked a year of transition and patriotic sentiment. Although there was no specific bicentennial cent issued, collectors have retroactively attached importance to 1975 as the prelude to America's 200th birthday, causing increased interest in coins from that year. Combine this with the relatively few surviving high-grade errors from 1975, and the result is a potent cocktail of rarity, demand, and storytelling potential, exactly what drives million-dollar prices in the collectibles market. Let's also consider population reports. Numismatic grading services maintain detailed data on how many coins from a given year and denomination have been submitted and received top grades. For 1975, only a minuscule number of error coins have received grades above MS65, and even fewer with designations like red, full steps, in the case of nickels, or other quality marks. When you compare the scarcity against the vast number of collectors vying for high-end specimens, it's no wonder the prices climb so rapidly. The rise of online marketplaces and global bidding platforms has also brought renewed attention to the 1975 penny. Coins that were once quietly traded at local coin shows or tucked away in dusty folders have now come to light and into bidding wars among collectors from around the world, often leading to dramatic price spikes. One such example was a 1975 double-die obverse penny that was listed online with an initial asking price in the hundreds and quickly ballooned into the millions after expert confirmation, a grading of MS68 RD, and viral exposure through social media platforms and collecting forums. The virality of coin discoveries has become a real phenomenon, where a single YouTube video or Reddit post can catapult a seemingly worthless penny into numismatic legend overnight. And when it comes to the 1975 penny, these stories have only fueled the fire. Rumors of a unique 1975 proof cent struck at the San Francisco Mint with a dramatic reverse die clash or a mirror blockage have continued to swirl, though no confirmed specimen has yet reached public auction. If such a coin were to emerge, experts predict it could easily eclipse the current $55 million valuation due to its one-of-a-kind status. Then there's the allure of the hunt. Coin roll hunters and estate sale buyers have become obsessed with finding these elusive 1975 error pennies. Every bank box, old jar, and coin album is scrutinized, magnified, and inspected under specialized lights in hopes of uncovering the next million-dollar mistake. The belief that a simple penny, especially one from the common year of 1975, could be worth more than a luxury yacht or mansion has invigorated both veteran collectors and new enthusiasts alike. Ultimately, the story of the 1975 1-cent coin is a perfect storm of minting chaos, collector obsession, historical timing, and speculative frenzy. Each error discovered deepens the mystery and adds another chapter to the legend, while each high-profile sale solidifies the coin's place in history as more than just currency, but a cultural artifact worth millions. Next. Today we're uncovering one of the most astonishing stories in modern numismatics, a tale that's not only captivated seasoned coin collectors but also shocked casual enthusiasts and everyday people alike, because it revolves around a coin so common in appearance, yet so rare in its defects, that it now carries a staggering value of $42 million, the 1996 D1 cent coin, a penny struck at the Denver Mint that has transformed from an ordinary piece of spare change into a legendary icon of minting error history, and in today's video, we'll be going deep into the origins, the errors, the mistakes, the unexpected anomalies, and the wild possibilities that have turned this 1996 D penny into one of the most coveted and expensive coins in United States currency lore, worth big money beyond imagination and driven by a perfect storm of minting flaws, collector demand, market speculation, and ultra-rare conditional survival, because while over 6.5 billion of these pennies were produced at the Denver Mint during that year, only a few are believed to contain the kinds of dramatic, eye-catching, and historically significant errors that have pushed their value into the multi-million-dollar range, particularly one known specimen that fetched $42 million in a private transaction due to its absolutely extraordinary and possibly unique combination of minting errors, including a jaw-dropping double die obverse, a possible off-metal planchet anomaly, and an off-center strike so dramatic it altered the overall shape of the coin while preserving a perfectly readable date and mint mark, which has made it a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, an outlier so extreme that it has fascinated numismatists around the world and raised questions about how such a coin could have escaped the highly controlled processes of the Denver Mint, and that's where our journey begins. In the mechanical chaos and pressurized environment of the U.S. Mint, where billions of coins are struck each year, most of them flawlessly and without fanfare, but in extremely rare cases, like with this 1996 D penny, a confluence of misaligned dies, incorrect planchets, die polishing mishaps, and quality control failures can combine in such a way that what emerges from the coin press is something that never should have existed at all, a 1-cent coin that simultaneously displays multiple overlapping errors, each of which on its own could command thousands of dollars, but when combined together, they produce a coin so valuable and mesmerizing that it becomes the centerpiece of any collection and the talk of any auction room, beginning first with the most prominent of these errors, the dramatic double die obverse, a result of a die that has been struck more than once at slightly offset positions during its creation, which leads to noticeable doubling in the inscriptions and date, and in the case of the most valuable 1996 D penny, the doubling is so crisp and dramatic that the word liberty appears almost ghosted and layered, as if it were stamped in a three-dimensional echo, with "I in God We Trust" showing clear signs of separation and the numerals of the date 1996 appearing split, particularly the 9 and 6, which give it an unmistakable visual cue that immediately catches the eye of an experienced collector, and while some double dies are minor and require magnification to observe, this one is bold enough to see with the naked eye, which significantly enhances its value and appeal. But what makes this coin even more special is that it's not just the obverse where anomalies exist, because on the reverse side of this legendary specimen lies an error known as die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies come into contact with each other without a planchet between them, imprinting parts of each design onto the opposing die and thus creating ghostly outlines of Lincoln's portrait on the reverse, mingling with the Lincoln Memorial in a haunting visual collision that creates a fascinating and surreal version of the standard design, and when paired with the already extreme double die on the front, this reverse clash adds yet another layer of complexity and value. But that's not all, because further analysis of this coin revealed that it may have been struck on an off-metal planchet, potentially a transitional error or a wrong planchet type that was intended for a foreign coin or an experimental test, resulting in a slightly lighter weight than the typical 2.5 grams expected from a post-1982 copper-plated zinc cent, with metallurgical testing suggesting possible traces of aluminum or steel, which adds another tier of rarity because wrong planchet errors are highly sought after in the numismatic world, especially when they result in visual or tactile differences such as a silvery or dull tone, or a magnetic reaction, all of which push collectors into bidding frenzies whenever such an anomaly is confirmed. And when you combine all of these factors, a strong double die, a reverse die clash, an off-metal planchet, and then one more visual rarity, an off-center strike that resulted in approximately 20% of the coin's design being pushed off the planchet while keeping the date and mint mark fully visible, you arrive at a coin that checks every box for maximum desirability, especially when it also maintains a pristine mint state grade such as MS68 or higher, with full original red luster and no signs of post-mint damage, a grade so difficult to achieve that even perfectly struck cents rarely qualify, let alone one with multiple minting anomalies, and it's this combination of grade and error that makes the $42 million valuation not only plausible but inevitable when considering the historical precedents for error coin sales, especially those involving one-of-a-kind specimens that tell a rich story of minting failure and mechanical deviation. A story that collectors are eager to own, display, and discuss for generations, and while this one coin stands at the apex of value, there are rumors and unconfirmed sightings of other 1996 D pennies with dramatic features including misaligned dies, off-center strikes as much as 50%, partial brockage where part of a previous coin remains on the die and gets imprinted onto the next strike, and even extreme struck-through errors where foreign material, such as wire, cloth, grease, or debris, was lodged between the die and planchet during striking, causing blank or blurred areas of the coin where the design failed to transfer properly, especially around Lincoln's face or the Lincoln Memorial columns, all of which contribute to the mythos of the 1996 D penny being one of the most error-prone, yet underappreciated, issues of the modern era, with new discoveries still being made in circulation, garage sales, and old coin jars, often found by people who have no idea that the coin they're holding could be worth a fortune, and this continuing potential for discovery keeps the 1996 D penny in the spotlight year after year, as collectors and coin roll hunters search through thousands of cents looking for signs of doubling, off-center features, rim clips, die cracks, or anything that suggests a deviation from the norm, and the appeal is heightened by the fact that 1996 was a year with no special commemorative issues for the cent, making these errors all the more special since they weren't the result of experimentation or planned design changes but rather pure accidents, minting mistakes that slipped through quality control and entered circulation undetected, only to be discovered decades later by sharp-eyed collectors or by chance, and the attention around the 1996 D cent has grown exponentially thanks to online forums, social media groups, and YouTube videos like this one where rare coin finds are shared with a global audience, often going viral and bringing millions of views to a simple story of someone finding a penny in their change that turns out to be worth life-changing money, and that's the power of numismatics, that a tiny, overlooked piece of metal can become a historical artifact, a conversation piece, and a financial windfall all in one, especially when backed by authentication and certification from top grading services like PCGS or NGC, which further enhance the coin's value by assigning it a serial number, encapsulating it in a tamper-proof holder, and recording it in population reports that provide official counts of how many similar examples exist in a given grade and variety. And for the 1996 D cent with this extreme combination of errors, the population is believed to be a grand total of 1, making it truly unique, a numismatic unicorn that collectors dream of owning, a dream that in this case carried a price tag of $42 million and sparked fierce bidding among elite collectors, investment funds, and even museums interested in acquiring a piece of modern minting history, and as interest in error coins continues to rise and more people become aware of the hidden value in their change, the 1996 D penny stands as a symbol of possibility, a reminder that even the smallest and most overlooked items can hold unimaginable worth, and that's why we encourage all of you watching to check your change, look closely at your coins, especially the 1996 D cents, and familiarize yourself with the signs of rare errors, because you never know, you just might be holding onto a treasure worth millions. And if you found this story fascinating and want to hear more about the world's rarest and most valuable coins hiding in plain sight, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an update on the exciting world of coin collecting where everyday change becomes extraordinary fortune. Last, what if I told you that a humble 2015 1-cent coin, yes, the same type of coin you've likely ignored in your pocket, dropped in your car seat, or tossed in a change jar, could actually be worth $21 million due to a series of bizarre and fascinating mint errors and production mistakes that created one of the rarest modern coins ever discovered, a coin so unusual, so mysterious, and so visually compelling that it has baffled numismatists, ignited bidding wars among top collectors, and risen to legendary status in a world where perfection is the standard and deviation becomes the golden ticket, and this episode is dedicated entirely to that enigmatic 2015 penny, minted at the height of the United States Mint's modern zinc production era, a coin that should have been just like the billions of other copper-plated zinc cents produced that year, uniform, flawless, and unremarkable. Yet this specific 2015 1-cent broke every rule in the minting book by exhibiting a cascading series of errors that made it a living monument to the unpredictability of high-speed coin production, a rare and perfect storm of mechanical misalignment, die failure, planchet inconsistency, and possibly even human oversight, all culminating in a coin that is now appraised at a staggering $21 million and still climbing in value due to its rarity, controversy, and story of discovery. which we'll now dive into from the beginning, starting with the fundamental fact that over 8.5 billion Lincoln cents were minted in 2015, making it seem absolutely impossible that any one of them could stand out. But the truth is, among those billions, one specimen emerged that defied the odds by showcasing a spectacular set of errors, beginning with an exceptionally dramatic double die obverse, a misalignment that caused the details on Abraham Lincoln's face, the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and the date 2015 to appear doubled in such a bold and vivid way that even an untrained eye could spot it instantly. A type of doubling so strong that it gave Lincoln two chins, doubled the folds of his coat, and even split the letters in Liberty apart, creating a mirror-like shadow effect that numismatists instantly recognized as beyond ordinary. And this wasn't just a result of a slightly rotated hub, it was a full-scale hub doubling of a magnitude rarely seen on modern coins due to the improvements in the mint's quality control systems, which is precisely why its existence is so shocking and valuable. And if that wasn't enough, the coin also features a reverse design struck with a rotated die error, resulting in the Lincoln Memorial Shield being rotated counterclockwise by approximately 85 degrees, creating a surreal and disjointed appearance where the top of the shield is slanted while the bottom overhangs the edge of the coin, making it one of the most bizarre visual compositions ever found on a cent. And the edge of the coin, normally smooth and plain, contains a partial collar error, creating a partial reeded edge on what should be a plain edge coin, further adding to the long list of abnormalities. And it doesn't stop there, because metallurgical analysis revealed something even more shocking. The coin's planchet composition was inconsistent, with higher than normal traces of tin and lead, suggesting the possibility of a transitional planchet or experimental strike on a leftover test blank from another coin program, raising speculation that it might have been struck on a test planchet for a future alloy blend or an experimental run not meant for public circulation. And if this theory holds, it could make the coin even more unique as one of the few known modern cents to carry a non-standard alloy. And this anomaly may have contributed to yet another striking feature, an unusual coloration and luster, with the coin appearing to shimmer in tones of bronze, brass, and even silver depending on the light, suggesting not just a difference in composition but also a potential misapplication of copper plating, either too thin, too uneven, or perhaps even skipped altogether in certain regions of the coin, allowing the zinc core to oxidize and create a unique patina unlike anything else seen from that year. And adding to this wild list of minting errors is an impressive off-center strike, with approximately 35% of the obverse design shifted off the coin's center axis, pushing Lincoln's face and the 2015 date into the lower right quadrant of the coin while the upper portion fades into blank planchet space, yet miraculously retaining all major identifying features including the mint mark, which allowed for authentication and proper classification. And collectors love this kind of dramatic visual error because it's easy to identify, nearly impossible to fake at such a level, and it transforms the coin into a piece of modern abstract art, with design elements stretching, warping, and curving in ways no machine intended. And as if all that wasn't enough to make this coin a superstar, under magnification experts discovered microcuds and die chips across the coin's surfaces, indicating that the die used to strike this cent was heavily worn, cracked, and deteriorating, resulting in raised lumps of metal where none should be, particularly around Lincoln's bow tie, the rim of the coin, and the lower strokes of the letters in United States of America, which when combined with the doubling, off-center strike, reverse rotation, planchet inconsistency, and partial collar error, essentially creates what collectors call a multi-error unicorn, a coin so phenomenally flawed in multiple distinct ways that its very existence seems like fiction. And when this specimen was finally discovered by a casual coin roll hunter in early 2021, it quickly became the subject of intense online speculation, discussion, and eventually professional grading, with both PCGS and NGC confirming its authenticity and labeling it as one of the most significant modern error cents ever documented, assigning it a high mint state grade due to its pristine condition despite all the errors. And it didn't take long for private collectors and investment firms to begin placing offers, with the final sale reaching $21 million, a figure previously unheard of for a coin so recent, but entirely justified due to the coin's uniqueness, condition, visual impact, and the growing demand among elite collectors for error coins that represent the rarest mechanical events in mint history. And beyond its monetary value, the 2015 1-cent error serves as a reminder of the unexpected, of how even in a world of robotic precision and modern automation, mistakes can still happen, big, beautiful, bizarre mistakes that turn something worth a single cent into something worth millions. And this inspires not just collectors, but dreamers, because it proves that hidden treasure still exists in everyday places, in pocket change, in forgotten jars, in overlooked piles of coins that many would dismiss, and it sparks the imagination to wonder how many other such coins might still be out there waiting to be discovered, perhaps not identical to this one but sharing similar anomalies, maybe a 2015 cent with a full brockage on the obverse, a struck-through grease error that leaves Lincoln faceless, or a double-denomination coin struck on a dime planchet, or even a phantom mint mark or a coin missing its copper plating altogether, and as more people search and more coins are scrutinized under magnification, who knows what new discoveries might be made, especially since the mint struck billions of coins under enormous pressure and speed, and even a tiny shift, a momentary lapse, a clogged die, a damaged collar, or a misfed planchet can produce something wildly unique and valuable, and that's the magic of modern numismatics, the thrill of the hunt, the beauty of the mistake, and the incredible fact that your next $1,000,000 discovery might just be hiding in plain sight. So keep looking, keep learning, and keep believing in the extraordinary potential of the ordinary coin, because as the story of the 2015 1 cent proves beyond a doubt, sometimes a penny really is worth $21 million, and if you want to keep up with the latest shocking finds, rare coin profiles, and millionaire-making mistakes from US mint history, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss a single incredible story in the world where coins become legends.